Yes, Nina. So today we are going to be starting a topic called tokens. So nothing but words. Generally, whenever we are writing a program, we may write the different types of words like maybe names or keywords or operators. So these are the different strings or tokens what generally we used in the program. So that all we classified into five types. One is identifier, nothing but names like function name, class name, or variable name. And the second thing, keywords, so which are built-in words in the compiler. So like example, if, for, and def, so the class, so these are all different keywords which are already exist in the Python, so that we can use directly. And constants means, as you know, so numericals, numbers, or constant values, something like pi or something like any which we can't modify at the time of execution, I can say that. And literals means I can say values, so which are nothing but your data types. So we have different types of values which are available. So that is already yesterday covered, I mean that last class covered, but still today once again we'll repeat the what are the different types of values we are generally consuming in the program. And the last one is operator. So these are symbols, I can say that, like plus, minus, less than, greater than. So these all symbols we technically called as operators. So basically, whenever you want to perform the mathematical or any comparison operations, we may use these operators. So these are the basically Python program consists. If you consider any program, that will segregate it into these five types only. So out of that, first one will go. So the first one is like identifiers. So identifiers nothing but names, Nana. As we know, we will define the names for different components as per our requirement. So first one, as we mentioned, identifiers, keywords, and constants, and literals, and finally operator. And first we'll start with identifiers. So identifier nothing but names. Simply I can say that. So individually, for identifying each variable or list or class or function, whatever we will write in the program, for everything we will define the names. So that names only we technically called as identifiers. Okay. So is this point clear, everybody? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we have some basic rules we have to understand. I mean that we need to remember while we are defining the names. So the first one is, when we are writing the names, please remember these points. Otherwise, it will a kind of what we can say that standard violations, I can say that. That means this may not give the errors, but it may deviate your standards. The first one, whenever we are writing name, it should not contain any special symbols except underscore. Like for example, at the rate, dollar, dot. So these all symbols are not allowed in the Python naming. Okay. So only underscore is allowed if you want to use as a separation. Like for example, username, if you want to write, you can write user underscore name, or as a single word username you can write, but don't give user at the rate name or user dot name. So like that you cannot define. And the second thing, identifier name must starts with alphabet. You can use digits but not a starting point. Like example, if you want to write x1, x2, x3, like that you can write, no issues, because starting alphabet x is there, and later on you can have the numbers 1 to 3, but you cannot write 1x, 2x, 3x, like that. So numericals we cannot allowed at the starting position. So only alphabets only allowed. So this is the second rule you need to remember. So the third one is, identifiers must be unique. It cannot be duplicated. So that means the same name we cannot use for two variables. The same name we cannot use for one variable and one function also. So that means once you use the name for any variable or any component, that cannot be reused in the program. So that is the another one. That means simply I can say that duplicate names are not allowed. And the next, keywords should not be used as identifiers, or an identifier may be of any length. That means uh, what are the words which are available, like if or else or while, that words we cannot use for naming. So the words which were already predefined, so that should be used for the respective uses only, we cannot use for our purpose. And the next point is, it is a case sensitive. That means uppercase, lowercase cannot be interchangeable. So whatever, however, like how you define the case, like for example, initially you define the name in uppercase, you can use it in the uppercase only, you cannot use in the smaller case, so you cannot interchange that. So that you need to remember. So Python is also case sensitive language. And don't give any white spaces, like whenever you write identifier names. Like example, as I mentioned just before, if you want to define the username, so you cannot use user space name. So if you want to some separation, you can use underscore, as I mentioned the first point, user underscore name, or else you can write directly as a single word username, but you cannot write user space name or user tab space name or user at the rate name, something like that. Okay, so these are the basic rules or basic standards we should follow when we are writing the names for any component. And another suggestion is, always give the name that is action names, I can say that. That means what that is indicating. Similarly, you should give the name. Like example, if you want to store some student ID, better to give ID or stuid or student ID, like that, but don't give some x or y, because by the name I cannot understand what you are storing. So always it is good habit, by the name if someone understand what you are representing and what you are storing, it is good stand up program. So that whenever you are giving name, you should always prefer action words rather than dummy words. Okay, so these are the things you should remember while you are defining the identifiers or names in any program. So please read all the 6 points. If anyone have any doubt, please ask me. Please read all the 6 points once again and ask me if you have any doubt. Any doubts as of now? Hello?
No, sir.
Okay. So next one, as I mentioned, keywords. So these are reserved words in the Python interpreter. So whenever you are compiling or translating your code into lower level, so these words are already well defined in the compiler. So that will be having well definition. So like the words like as I mentioned, if, def, or that all are we call keywords only. So if you able to see on screen, so these are the all the keywords which are available on the Python. So as I shown like false, none, true, and as class. So these are all different keywords which are available in the Python. Gradually once we are getting into the classes, you may get all these keywords one by one. Okay, and some key points are given beside the table if you observe that. So we should not add anything to the keywords because they're all predefined. That means we cannot use keywords as our user defined words, so that will be predefined only. We can't change the operation of any keywords. That means if you define anywhere as a class, so it is creating a class. So if you want to change the definition of the class, we can't change it. We can't combine two keywords. Yes, of course. So each and every single keyword has its own meaning, so we cannot combine the any two keywords as a single keyword. And we can't use keyword as an identifier, that is already mentioned in the previous points. All keywords must be written in lowercase. So you should remember, all keywords are written in the lowercase except false and true and none. The first three keywords, if you observe that, false, none, true. So except the three keywords, remaining should be in the lowercase. That three only starts with uppercase letter. And you should remember, this is important because sometimes when we are writing true in small, it will show error. So that is all about keywords. So basically keywords are must be like predefined words, I can say that, so that we can use anywhere in the program directly by understanding the concept of that. Okay, but each keyword when we will use and how to use, we'll see in the future in upcoming classes. So I hope you understand everyone what is keyword. So keywords are reserved words, I can say that. Any doubt as of now? Yeah, the third thing is constant. So it is a variable, or I can say that it is a value that cannot be changed at the time of execution or while we are executing the code. So the value can, if it is fixed, so that means like something which cannot be modified. So that is what we call constants. So generally, Python inbuilt does not support any declarative approach to do the constants. Like for example, if you go for Java, we have a keyword called final to define the constants. In the similar way, if you go for C language, we have a const keyword. So there is some sort of keywords in different languages to define the key constants. But in Python, we don't have such kind of constants. So just we imagination, like we will create a constant.py as a file where we will write all the values, but these will be changeable. So we cannot assure that they cannot be changed. So that's why the constants topic, I can say there is no direct way in the Python. Indirectly, we can use as a constants. So literal means, so see some x equal 10 if I'm writing, so the x whatever we are writing, that is called variable. That is what we explained yesterday. So equal to value, whatever we are storing, as I mentioned clearly yesterday, by the value only it will understand what type of value it is. So the type of value only we call literals. So we have different types of literals like numerical literals and text literals. So numerical means integer, float, complex, or text literals means string, character, and boolean, true, false, and collections. So just before the class I told you, right? So literals are nothing but data types only, I can say that. But in terminals is quite different. So data type is indicating what type of value. The actual value what we are storing is technically called as literals, but both are same only. Okay. And the last one here is operators basically. So as you know, operator are the symbols, or most of the things are symbols only, like plus, minus, greater than, less than, equal to, and are, these are all different operators. But in Python especially, we have some keywords as operators like and, or not in, and some of the keywords also will be used as operators in Python. So some are symbols will be there, but basically the idea here is the operator will help you to perform some basic operation, like maybe addition, subtraction, or comparison, or join the condition. So whenever we required or whenever we want to place that particular conditions, we may use this particular operator topic. So here The first one is arithmetic operators. So arithmetic means, as you know, so numerical operations we can perform like plus, minus, that all operators. And the next one, relational. So these are comparison operator. I can say that, like example, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, that all operators. And logical, as I mentioned, and or not. And assignment operators like equal to, not equal to, mostly plus, equal, that all operators. And bitwise, so mostly we are not using an application level, but in a device level the bitwise will be useful. And special operators also will be there, like one is identity operators, another one membership operators. So that we will see detailedly in the next slide, so please wait. Yeah, just I'm rebacking same operators. Okay, so these are all the different operators what we have in the Python. Now one by one I will show you. Just understand. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. So the first list of operators are arithmetic operators. So as I mentioned already, these are used to perform the mathematical operations. So such operators are we have here like plus, as we know, addition, minus, subtraction, star, multiplication, by indicating floating division, means which returns the float value, like something points we can get it, like if you go for 3 by 2, so 3 by 2 will give you 1.5. And percentile will give you remainder. Okay, double by will give you the integer division. That means if you give 3 by 2, it won't give you 1.5, it will give you the 1.0. So means it always makes the nearest integer. And double star also we have in Python, so that is called power operator. Like for example, 2 double star 3, if you return 2 star 3 means 2 3 is 6 will come, right? But when you go for 2 double star 3 means it is 2 power 3, that is 8 will come as a outcome. So 2 into 2 into 2. So like that we have totally 7 operators, 7 arithmetic operators in Python. So by using that you can perform the arithmetic operations in Python language. So if anyone have any doubt with respect to arithmetic operators, please raise your hand, or else I will go for next operator. Yeah, complete. That one. Address क्या हो रहा है ना, address और पट्टी. If you have any doubts, please ask me, Nana, or else just go through that. So I hope no doubts. So see here. So I'm just showcasing the arithmetic operators as an example. So new Python file. So AOP and put AOP. Okay. So just I'm taking two values and I will showcase all the values here. So let's take, I'm taking a equal to 5, I can consider a simple example, and the b equal to 2, okay. And now print as we know. So first one, a plus b. So as I already explained, so this is concatenating and with the actual value. So that is a plus b, okay. So here the a plus b equal to what I'm typing in the double quotes will show as a string, but the other whatever the a plus b written, that will show as a result. So now I will try to run this program. So now you will expect is a plus b equal to 7. So that is what expected here if you see that. So similarly all the other operators we can use here. So whatever the 7 operators I explained totally, so we can try to implement that so that you will clarify that. The second one, a minus b, subtraction, and the third one, multiplication. Sorry, multiplication. So the next one, I will give the power operator as I mentioned. Single star is multiplication, double star is power to the given value, and similarly a by b is what I told you, floating division, means decimals will come. A double by will same the division only, but it will give the nearest integer. And the last one, remainder, so that is modulus operator, we can say that. So a percentile b is equal to comma a percentile b, okay. So if you will try to run this program, so you will able to see all the outputs. See that if you are able to see a plus b, 4 plus I mean that 5 plus 2 7, 5 minus 3 2, 5 minus 2 3, and 5 into 2 10, 5 square 25, and see that 5 by 2 2.5, but when you go for double by, it will give the only 2, it won't give the 0.5. And when we divide the 5 by 2 means 2 2s are 4, the remainder will be 1, so that is the remainder what we are getting. So any doubts in these operators, if you have, please ask me, otherwise I will go to the next point. Any doubts? Okay. So the next one here we have is relational operators. Yeah. So relational operators are used to compare the two values of variables generally, and which one is bigger, which one is small. To do such kind of comparison analysis, we will do the relational operators. So here we have greater than, less than. These are all well known only. Greater than or equal, less than or equal to, equal to equal. So and also these operators always return the Boolean value is true or false. Maybe the condition whatever you specified, if it is true, it will return the true. I mean, it will print the true or it will print the false. So that is how the relation operator will work. And the next one, logical operators, like as we know, multiple conditions if you want to check at a time. So whether all conditions should be true or any one of the that should be true. So that indicates, based on that we have operator like AND or OR. So AND means all should be true, OR means any one of that is enough to true, and NOT means opposite action, generally true false false true. And similarly assignment operators, so these operators will help you to store the data, like a equal to 5 means 5 is storing to a plus equal to 5 means a equal to a plus b. So whenever you have the left and right side same operator, same operand like variable, so no need of writing double time. Like example, if a equal to a plus b, so simply you can write a plus is equal to 5, or a equal to a minus 5, so simply you can write a minus equal to 5, like that. All the operators whatever you learned in the arithmetic, everything you can attach along with the equal operator. So that is what the assignment operators. So as I mentioned already, so bitwise is just electrical operators, I can say that a binary operator. So mostly these operators will work on binary values, not in the our numericals. So I'm not like it's really not required to learn, but as is mentioned there, just to remember, okay. but the identity operators will be used like is and is not. So that means whenever you want to compare the objects, whether two objects are equal or not, or whether the whether the two instances are equal or not, so where we can use is or is not. And the last one, membership operators, in and not in, whether it is there or not, whether it is available or not. So in such cases we will use the this operator. But membership operators and identity operators and relational operators and logical operators, so these four set of operators will return the boolean value only end of the time, like whether true or false only. It doesn't make any mathematical or numerical calculations. Okay, only mathematical operators will give you the result of the value as an outcome, and bitwise operator will return the binary value, but remaining all four set of operators will give you the true or false only. So if it is, for example, if 5 in x is there, so that means if 5 is there in the x, then it returns true. If not in the x, then it returns false. So likewise, some x is y I can write. So if x is y, mean that both are same instance, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So that is the how all the operators will return the true false values when we are using this particular operators. So these are the different operators whatever we have in the Python. Okay, so we'll print some of the operators also here, like example, if you see, as I mentioned, right? So print a greater than b, I'm printing. Okay, so now if you run this program, so definitely 5 is greater than 2, so it returns true. See that the value is printed here true. And for example, if I'm writing here equal to equal to, so is it a equal to b? No, right? So it returns false. See that it returns false. So likewise, the relational operators or the other operators whatever you have, that all are will return the false and true. So that's why these are not really for printing purpose, but these operators really used for conditional statements, like to check something whether went good or not, like that. So for example, if else, mostly if else we are using this sort of things. So when we are coming to conditional statements, like whether the number is even or odd, whether the user is valid or not, whether the password is correct or not, whether the, like for example, number is prime number or not. So these sort of all questions will clarify by using this particular relational and what we can say, that membership operators only. Okay, and only independently these operators mostly we may not use. So based on the conditionals only we can use it. But arithmetic operators, as we know, so where and when required some basic operations, we can utilize them. So as of now, any doubts for these all the operators? Please let me know any doubts if you have.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, in print section,
Okay.
we are writing a plus b equals to in
Double.
double colons.
Yeah. Double.
After that, we are mentioning comma.
Right.
So why we are using this
Yeah,
comma?
see, no, no. Like for example, in print, how it will print the data means whatever the content you mentioned in the double quotes, it will treat as a text and it will print as it is. Like a plus b equal to you are writing. That's why we are getting a plus b equal to in the output also. If you observe that here, okay. And whereas a plus b, whatever we are writing in the right side, this is a value actually. It is not the text. So that's why we are getting 7. But when you want to combine a string with number side by side, so then we should use a concatenation operator, comma. In Java it is plus, in Python it is comma. So that means it will combine your string to the value what we are printing, and both will be printed side by side now. So it will use it for concatenation.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other doubts? Okay, so I hope no one have any doubts. So remaining will continue tomorrow. No? So tomorrow I will start some examples with these all operators, and the next class will see in the statements like if else will start. So day after tomorrow we'll meet by same time, and you can I will share the video of today recording, and you can go through that. Okay, thank you. Bye.